No agenda, no bull crap, just real conversations. Thank you for joining us for the Middle of the Street podcast.
We got a lot to talk about today, Pops.
We do. And some really great thing. Well, all of it's good stuff. I mean, it's all real.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we do great is we talk about real things that don't just affect our lives, but affect other people's lives. And, I love the feedback.
Yeah. Hey, what do you call it? Who is Samantha Bell?
Niece.
Yeah, niece?
Mariah's best friend. I saw that.
Oh, for real? Yeah,
Yeah.
she was commenting on a Facebook post I did about the I put some reel out there. I can't remember what the reel was about now. It's about something. Oh, I think it was the military violence and how it trickles down. And
Yeah. Well, and that kind of hit home because her sister's husband's brother, I believe, committed suicide fairly recently also. So,
oh, really?
So it was kind of a raw emotion thing. We were talking about that with Mariah last night. So,
Man, yeah, I tell you what, speaking of, suicide, and first off, if you live in Nebraska and you're feeling like you're hearing the demons, you're feeling like you're not worth enough, you're feeling like you are just feeling bad and you don't want to be on this world, I want to tell you that there's people that want you in the world and that you need to call or text 988 for someone to talk to so you can stay alive, so you can stay here with the world, and you can stay with the people that do care about you. There's someone that cares about you. There's someone that's going to miss you. There's people that are going to be sad. There's people that are going to truly, truly, truly miss you. So don't take that next step of ending your life. Take the next step of making a call. Take the next step of making a text, of sending a text. Get the help you need. There's free therapy you can get. There are free resources. If you're watching this and you're feeling like this, send us a DM. We will help you find a resource, but just do not end it. Do not end your life. Stay in it. You will get past it. There's greener pastures ahead. The light will shine. Things will get better. You do not have to end your own life. You don't.
asking questions, even though you may not like the answers, ask those questions. Help thy neighbor, love thy neighbor. It's really hard to understand what's going on in somebody's life in any given moment when you see things in public or in private to really know, what's the underlying factors, what's driving it. My awareness of that probably in my, later 40s, 50s, and 60s has been much more in tune than it was when I was younger and didn't have the life experiences. But yeah, just to understand that as bad a day as you're having, somebody else may be having a worse day. Somebody else needs your help. If that's a hug, a handshake, just an ear.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff going on every day in people's lives. Social media doesn't help because with that, sometimes there's a lot of disinformation out there, cyberbullying. I mean, it's really easy to say something with your keyboard online. It's no different than texting. I didn't grow up texting. I'm of a different generation. But, I've always been there. If there's two text messages back and forth over something, just pick up the phone and call. Now, there's some exceptions to that, but that's kind of me.
Yeah.
I'm a verbal communicating person. I like to hear voice inflection. And people that are trying to help themselves online and only online, that makes it pretty tough because you don't get that emotion. You don't understand what's happening on the other end of that. So making the phone calls, hugging thy neighbor, helping each other, that's what we have to do.
100%. So I also want to say too, a lot of times as men, sometimes we're afraid to ask for help. And there's a stigma a lot of times that, we have in different communities, and lots of different communities, whether it's just a man community, whether it's like the Black community. I don't know about like the good old boy community.
Even in families. I mean, in families, you don't ask the questions. And
a lot of times it's just a stigma against asking or seeking for help, right? But let's take that stigma away. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to admit that you're hurting, that you need some help, that maybe you're hearing these voices in your head. You're hearing something telling you to do something that you shouldn't. And how you get past that, how you get through that is by seeking out the help and getting the help. So my big message is just go and seek out the help. Do not feel a certain way. It's so much better to get the help that you need rather than to end your life, rather than to not be here on this earth. Because again, so many people, and even though if you don't believe it, there's people that love you. There's people that care about you. And you don't want to leave those people, You don't want to not only do that to those people, but you're worth more. Your life is worth more. And even if you're going through like really tough times, if you're going through something sincerely tough and sincerely hard, it can get better. It will get better. So just stick with it. I really want to say that, Unfortunately, I had a friend that ended his life earlier this week. And it's really tough because we were together Saturday. We were kicking it hard, man. We were out with another few friends. One was celebrating his birthday. And I mean, we were listening to music, we were dancing, we were laughing, we were just kicking it, joking, clowning, playing the dozens. I mean, all the things, man. We went out, we had a great time, man. We're out late, real late in the wee morning, just really kicking it. And, he was laughing. He was having a good time. He was in a really good spot right then, and I knew that he was, hurting somewhat, right? And in some type of, funk, as we call it, right? Or in a little place. He had dealt with some panic attacks and had dealt with some stress from all sorts of places, and he took on some new responsibilities. And so, he was in need of some just help, some brotherly love, some brotherly help, and we were giving him that. And even a conversation that my guy had with him, he had told him, man, I just really feel better being out here with the guys, just being with y'all, just hanging out, And I think that that's something that, guys, need too. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys work hard. We work hard. We do a lot. There's a lot of things on our shoulders, a lot of responsibility. A lot of the responsibility gets placed on us because of not only the societal, I think, pressures, but just keeping it real. Like, if you're a real man, you handle your business, right? You're a real man, you take care of business, you do your thing. But don't forget to take some time out for yourself, to take some time, get with your guys and do some healthy hanging out, get a little R&R in that way. And for him, it just wasn't enough. I think he just needed even more. And then Sunday, I talked to him. We picked one NFL parlay together. I was just hollering at him about the games and, what's going on. And then we made a plan on Wednesday, today, to go get some coffee and kick it. And then on the following Sunday, this Sunday coming up, that he was going to go and attend church with my family and I. And so we have these plans and things, and then I got just a horrible call, or a text even, rather, saying that he had passed, and I just didn't want to believe it, you know what I'm saying? And, and this person, it wasn't even like we were best friends, right? We kicked it a couple times, but we talk almost daily just because we are colleagues. And so we have inside jokes, we got a text chain that goes on for years, and, we have real inside jokes. Like, you know how it is when you get to know a person, you got inside jokes. You know what I'm saying? That's something different, right? When you got inside jokes with somebody. So just prayers to his family, prayers to his loved ones. He left behind in this world some parents and a twin sister, some nieces and nephews, so prayers to those people. I know that they're, of course, really hurting, really feeling, all of the things. It's just a fraction, of course, of what I'm feeling, or what I'm feeling, excuse me, it's just a fraction of, I'm sure, their hurt and their pain. So, we'll just say a prayer for everyone that is gone too soon and doesn't get to face all the battles because they felt like they needed at that point to end their own life. And, dealing with things inside of the head, man, it's different. You need help. You can't attack those things alone.
Exactly. I mean, it takes a village. It takes real communication with people that love you, people that love them, people that love each other. Why I've been, so blessed to have a partner in life for 40 plus years. And the same, we're talking a lot about dudes here too, but, ladies go through the same stuff, the same grinds, and they need those releases too, to go out with their girls, to relax and talk about things and play bunco or whatever, they do to chillax and to talk about things. I don't think this is gender specific. It's
no, it's definitely not.
Obviously, it's not gender specific.
I just talk about it because I'm, just because we dudes.
I know.
I don't know nothing about. But you're right. Yeah. The females need it too.
And it's not gender specific. I mean, there's far too many young people that take their own lives.
Yeah.
So prayers, and I hope he's found eternal life in heaven.
And just get help, y'all. Just get help. Just get the help. Get the help. Don't be afraid to get help.
It kind of, it's like a story. A guy that worked for me, and he was a younger guy, dated a bunch of different girls, but was really wanting to settle down in life. And I said, well, Nate, where are you meeting these girls you're dating? He said, well, normally, at a sporting event or a bar or, a dance or something. I'm like, dude, do you ever think about going to church?
Yeah, right. That's where I get the good girls in church.
And he, believe it or not, he starts attending church stuff, finds a gal. They get married a year and a half, 2 years later, still married today, have 4 kids.
Look at that.
It was just like, wow, man, you can really find some pretty cool people at church too.
Hey, what's it is? See, what do you call it? You ever seen Coming to America?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that's where you get the good girls in church.
Yeah.
Good girls in church. No, but seriously though, it's hard. Like you're going out and you're trying to find a mate while you're inebriated. Or while they're inebriated, like going to those places, like you're going out to a bar, you're going out to a lot of times sporting events and things like, they're drinking at those events.
Yeah.
People aren't in their right sober mind at those events. And then you're trying to find a life partner, not everyone, but, just for the most part. Right. Well, and just the whole vibe. Right.
It's not a problem to look in churches and other places other than just bar scenes.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
I just wanted to toss that in there.
No, I mean, that's huge for real. Because I think that's one big thing. And unfortunately, that's another thing that we talked about. I was like, you don't have like a girlfriend or, somebody, because that helps, right? Is having a partner. And so, and so that's huge. And finding the right partner, like, Brother Nuri Muhammad says, like, that's the most important decision that you'll ever make in your life other than your relationship with God, right? Is finding that right partner for you. And because it could either be your downfall or your uplift, right? And it's going to be one of the two. And finding a person, if you're a person of faith and you find a person in that same faith, and it doesn't even have to be in that same faith, but just finding a person of faith in general and meeting somewhere like church, meeting somewhere like a Bible study, or meeting somewhere like a mosque or a synagogue or wherever you're going, right? Meet that person and be with that person. And just like I said too, I mean, if you're an intellectual, right, you should meet that person at the library, or meet that person at the quiz bowl down at the at your local thing where you're doing all those smart things, at the at the game store where they go and they play like those little games, those live action games on the board games, or whatever they do. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, or those turn-based games. But seriously, go and meet people at places where you have real interest, not just nightlife or, Now, I will say, I do have a cousin that met her husband. They have 2 kids, living a wonderful life off of one of those Tinders or one of those
dating applications, dating apps.
One of those dating apps.
I mean, I know some people like that too, and it's worked out well. But it's really been because up front they had to communicate about things they liked, things they didn't like.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of matchmaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's communication, and for whatever reason, that's really hard for people to communicate openly about their feelings, especially my generation. I mean, I think it's getting better as kids are getting, today. But find the right person is important because they can always pick you up when you're down, and they know you're down way before you know you're down.
Well, that's huge.
No,
it is. It definitely is. It definitely is. Find that right person. So, again, just get the help you need. If you're in Nebraska, 988 suicide hotline, the crisis hotline, 988, get your help. And of course, too, if you're feeling, whatever type of way, wherever you are in the United States of America, 911 will get you to someone that you need to get to.
Yeah.
Right. Just reach out for help. Get the help. Moving on, I want to talk about a few things. There's a lot of things. There really is a lot of things. And one of the things is, let's just say it, Mr. Trump or President Trump, was it yesterday he brought out that, or was it Monday? Monday, maybe? Maybe it was Monday. It's been a couple of days now, possibly.
Yeah.
I think Monday or yesterday, one of the 2 days, him and Bobby Jr. brought out the some type of they released or re-released studies that they think are parts of they're not saying 100% causation, not saying 100% the only reason, right? But parts of causes for the spike in the autism epidemic. And one of those things that they brought to light was a Tylenol study, saying that the correlation here in multiple studies, one from Johns Hopkins, other ones from Rutgers, and multiple other studies. I've seen multiple other studies at the National Health Institute and things as well, from NAIC or NHIC.org and things, or .gov, excuse me, where there are instances where they're showing very strong data connecting Tylenol use, not only, but Tylenol use when women are pregnant, and Tylenol use while babies are young or kids are young, and the rates of autism with those pregnant ladies that use Tylenol, rates of autism with those young kids that have used the Tylenol after getting things like vaccines and using it for the swelling that happens in vaccines and the pain that happens from vaccines, or the subsequent adverse reactions that happen from vaccines, they use the Tylenol, as well as many other neurological disability diseases that we call, like as in ADHD, as in other hyperactive disorders, and then other things that are correlated to slow speech, verbal disabilities, and reading disabilities, all linked to Tylenol use. And I can't say I was surprised by the reaction from the liberal world, and I guess I hate saying the liberal world because it's not the definition, but just from the Democratic side, political side of America.
Let's call it what it is: the Trump haters. And there's a lot of people out there that absolutely do not like Donald Trump for whatever reason.
But peep this: like, I don't like Donald Trump, right?
But you don't hate him.
I mean, like, I try not to say I hate anyone, but it's very close, right? I'm just saying, like, I despise that man and a lot of the things he stands for. That being said, I can compartmentalize my personal disdain for what he has done, what he does, what he says, and what in many cases he stands for. Because one man stands for a lot of things, you know, just like me. I think I've stood for a lot of things throughout my history of 39 years.
I was going to say, in 39 years, you know, when you're 79,
stand for a lot of
it's
other
going to be a lot of other things.
Whole bunch, right? So I can take apart my disdain for Mr. Trump, or President Trump, excuse me, but while still acknowledging science, while still acknowledging legitimate studies, while still acknowledging that, he's bringing to light a true fact here, or a true point here.
Correct.
Right? I can do that. Some people just cannot do that, right? And it's weird to me.
I just watched a documentary on us in Afghanistan, and Trump saying, you know, that it was stupid for us to be there. We're getting ripped off. I mean, you watch the documentary and you're like, he was pretty spot on. We were getting ripped off big time, and lying to the American people about winning.
Sure.
So, I mean,
Sure. But he definitely wanted to go, or he was in agreement of the war on terror that got us there anyway. But that being said, to then be able to say, oh, this is stupid now, is also a good thing, I think.
Yeah,
right?
to reflect and say, man, I was dead wrong.
Yeah, like that was dumb. And because I've been able to do that a lot of times about a lot of things where it's like, man, Ishma, that was pretty stupid what you said and what you thought. Because you get new information.
Different facts.
And now you're able to
to
shift. You have a new paradigm.
Which is probably where you and I's love and growth have come as people.
Yeah.
By sharing things and changing each other's thought processes with facts.
Sure.
I mean, we have the love of the same woman, my daughter and your wife.
Yeah.
That has been a great force in our love for each other.
Yeah.
But we've also been able to disagree and then listen to each other and find some middle ground on lots of topics. Some of them we'll never find middle ground on. Yeah. We're different. We process things differently, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But also I've been able to, you know, grow up to where just because I disagree with something doesn't mean that I have to not like the person I disagree with.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a difference. And I understand some people are going to be in the comments and be like, well, you know, you can't disagree with this or that or this. Well, I'm not talking about, I guess what I'm trying to say is, because I hear a lot of things where they'll say, oh, we can have disagreements, but when it comes to like my freedom or my right to live or my right to, you know, those aren't what we're talking about here. No. Right. We're talking about legitimate disagreements of just different thought processes of way we see different things in the world. Now, getting to that Mr. Trump thing, I can say and see, okay, where him and Bobby, they bring out studies, and they're not even new studies, right? These are like old 6 years old studies and things that we just bring it back out and say, look, this is the trillness, this is the truth. Other administrations hide it. And you know how I see this, Pops? I see this like in 2001. I think that was the year 2001. Mr. Trump brings out, no, it wasn't 2001, was it 2000? When did Trump bring out the vaccine, the quickest vaccine ever? The greatest vaccine ever, the quickest vaccine ever.
It was the fastest,
no doubt. The fastest. He said the fastest, the greatest, all that. He was talking like he was Ali. It was I'm the greatest. But seriously, though, he brought out the fastest vaccine on market ever with Mr. Fauci. And you know, what was that? 2020? Was it 2020?
Yeah.
2000?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's before the election. But he brought it out, the quickest ever. And Democrats from all over, man, from Kamala to everybody was saying, oh, I won't take that. Oh, no, Trump's vaccine? Oh, no, I don't trust that. I won't take that. Oh, no, I won't take that. I won't take a Trump vaccine. I don't trust a Trump vaccine, right? As soon as Biden hits office, literally, the day after he hits office, then what's every Democrat saying?
Got to take it.
Got to take that vaccine. Got to take the shot. Take the vaccine. Take it. Was it a different shot?
No.
Did all of a sudden the 3 or the 4 drug makers, the really quick,
Moderna, Johnson Johnson,
GlaxoSmithKline or SmithKline, and there's another one, Paxil okay. But really quick, did they switch the vaccine once Biden got in office? Did they change anything about it? The only thing that changed was Biden was in office.
Who was talking
Democrat
about?
That's all.
Who
that
was
changed.
talking? That's exactly right.
Just the messenger.
Although I can say, Trump never said everybody has to take this because this will stop this. He was still talking about alternative medicines for it, other than just the vaccine and alternative treatments. And they were, they give that to horses and blah blah blah.
The horse tranquilizer. You're talking about
I can't remember the name of it now, but
hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, you're close. But anyway, he was talking about a lot of alternatives, and some of those alternatives they used and they helped.
Not only helped,
it was
but
no
they
different.
Really worked.
Yeah, well, it was no different than him initially saying this came from China. This was built in a lab in China, and everybody's like, "Oh no, it wasn't. It was it was an accidental. It was bats at first."
Yeah. They were eating bats.
Yeah,
is what they said.
I mean, it's just freaking stupid stuff. But if and it's been said multiple times, and I think I kind of believe it now. If Trump had a cure for cancer, nobody'd believe it.
Well, they would hate on it.
Yeah, I mean, it had...
Oh, ivermectin. Sorry.
Ivermectin.
But hydroxychloroquine was one, but ivermectin is the big one.
Yep.
And ivermectin, just so you know, ivermectin is probably the most prescribed drug of like all time throughout the world, literally. Like people in India and other places in Africa, they take like 1 or a half pill a day because it keeps parasites away. It stops you from getting so many ailments from parasites. And it won a Nobel Peace Prize, not for animal veterinarian medicine. No, for medicine. The guy who invented it or brought it out won the Nobel Peace Prize for medicine because it was so good, so safe, so effective.
Well, and they started using it for
ivermectin.
Animals because of the parasites they would get by drinking bad water.
It was good for humans.
Mm-hmm.
It was used for humans. It still is used for humans all over the world. But here's why they didn't want ivermectin to get out, and why they didn't want any alternative cures to get out for COVID, was because by our FDA rules, if there is another viable cure or remedy or treatment or therapy for a illness like COVID that's supposed to be an epidemic, if there's a viable cure, treatment, therapy that works, then you cannot put emergency use on the vaccine. It has to go through all the actual tests, the trials, and it'll take 5 to 10 years to actually get to market. But if they can put the emergency use on it, saying that there's no other way to cure this, there's no other way to help with the therapy for this, then they can get that vaccine pushed up and passed the fastest ever, just how Mr. Trump was able to do. Only because, and that's why Fauci didn't ever want to say that anything else worked. And that's why American media went with the drug companies and did all that.
Which was more government bullshit.
It definitely was. It definitely was. But just the point of it is that Trump said take it, and Democrats said no. Liberals were like, oh my God, no, I don't trust that vaccine. Then as soon as Biden's in office, the same darn vaccine, the same darn companies, the same darn ingredients, the same things. And then they say, hey, yep, we'll take it now. We feel good about it. We should do it. Everybody has to take it. It's safe. It's effective.
Well, if you don't take it, you can't go see your mother in the nursing home because
it's going to stop this. It's going to stop that. No, seriously.
Just bullshit.
And so that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. Right now, Tylenol, there's multiple studies showing how bad the Tylenol is for pregnant women, or just how much of a risk there is for pregnant women with different things. And here's why it is. See, it gets deeper. It really does get deeper, right?
So I pulled up Tylenol's page
Okay.
and went to their Q&A.
Okay, go to that.
And here it says,
Before I get deep, let's go just with the surface with Tylenol.
this is what they're saying.
Okay.
Can I take Tylenol if I'm pregnant or nursing? If you are pregnant or nursing, seek advice from your healthcare professional before use Tylenol or any other medication. Well,
How many people ask the doctor to take Tylenol before they pop Tylenol?
yeah. Well, and probably the other piece of it is how many of the doctors actually have access to the studies on Tylenol.
Okay, they got access, but how many of them are reading them?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're
how
pretty
many
busy
ever
guys.
read? I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I'm saying they're not reading.
Well, and do they have
They're just not
access to
reading.
the total study? I mean,
Yeah, they're on the NIHC.gov
Okay.
website. But to your point, the thing is you have to go digging for that.
Yeah.
Like you have to spend hours. And let me just be real here, right? I'm not knocking on doctors. I'm not saying doctors aren't smart, but I'm saying this. When you are a mother, like my wife, you know how many freaking hours she spent reading every piece of literature on a drug, on a therapy, on a vitamin, on anything. I mean, that was her life. Her life study was spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours doing this to where she became an expert on things. And how do you become
Certified.
an expert on things? Yeah, seriously though. I mean, and how you become an expert on things, you study it so much and you read so much. She put 10,000 hours of reading into it. Now, and the same thing with these mothers that have kids with autism that are saying that vaccines did it, this and this and that. They spent their whole being, their 8 hours a day has been nothing but the study on this stuff. I'm just keep it real. Your general practitioner physician, he isn't spending hours and hours and hours and hours reading.
doesn't have it.
He just don't have that time.
It's no different
So
than
to your point, they don't have that.
Yeah. I mean, so why can't Tylenol just come out and say, we do not recommend this for pregnant women or mothers that are nursing?
Well, they did in 2017.
And that's where I was headed. That's exactly where I was headed. 2017, they said that. And then, whoa, that's not cool. We better take that off.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. That money, man, that bottom line, Tylenol is owned by a corporation. They got shareholders, bruh, right? They got shareholders. They got to keep them shareholders happy and they got to keep that money flowing in. And if people stop taking Tylenol, it hurts the bottom line. And I'm just keep it real, man. Drug pushers don't care about who they're hurting for the most part. I'm going to say 90% of drug pushers don't care about who they're hurting. You know, I have met some honest drug dealers and been like, nah, man, I'm not going to sell no drugs to a kid, or I'm not going to sell no drugs to this person, man. They out here strung out hurting themselves, right? But for the most part, and especially these big corporate drug pushers, they don't care about the health and safety of those folks. And we've seen that from the opioid epidemic. We've seen it from an aspirin a day, and then we figured out that aspirin a day really ain't good.
So I watched this clip and then I actually did a little bit of research on it. And you probably don't remember it. But in the 70s, Ford had a vehicle called the Pinto.
Oh, I know about the Ford Pinto.
You know, we dubbed it all as the flamethrower. Because if it was impacted in the rear end, they blew up. And the engineers went to the board of Ford Motor Company and said, we have to stop production on this car and not sell them until we can fix this engineering flaw, because it's going to kill 3,000 or 4,000 people every year. And the board said, so if we stop this and do a recall, what's that going to cost us? And what's it going to do to the stock price? And they came to the conclusion that financially, it was better to continue to do it and to pay those people who got killed a couple $1 million, that was better financially for Ford Motor Company.
They're willing to kill people, pay the price to kill people, rather than to
Or at least let them die.
No, seriously, or rather than to kill people. You willing, because if you willingly know this is gonna happen,
Yeah.
you got the scientists saying it's gonna happen.
Engineers, better yet.
Then you willingly let it happen because you don't want to lose money, because you're saying the bottom line of our reputation going, if we say that we recall this and this and that, that's just sick. And did any of those board members spend a second in jail?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. And the same thing with these guys at Tylenol, whether it's I'm gonna forget the family now that was really behind the opioid crisis with the
painkillers.
with all the painkillers, and I mean, because they got fined,
Yep.
but nobody went to jail. But then, the homie Ty, he'll go to jail for 20, 50, they give them a basketball number for slanging something on the corner, right? They didn't touch that didn't touch half of a fraction of a percentage of the people that these big companies and corporations are killing.
Nor made near as much money.
Oh man, didn't see none of that money.
So, too many American corporations are driven by bottom line, and trust me, I'm a shareholder of probably a multitude of different companies that I may not agree with, but at some point, they got to look at the man in the mirror and say, "Is this worth it?" And it's no different than some of the alternative. So I text Megan often on, "Hey, I saw this. This may help with this ailment for me. Is it safe? Should I take this or not?" And normally within a half a day, she comes back, "Dad, you don't want to take that because of these reasons." And sometimes she's like, "No, Dad, that's perfect for what you want to take it for, and it's not going to hurt you at all."
Yeah.
It's kind of like, people talk about taking vitamin C. Well, you can't OD on vitamin C.
You're going to piss that out, man.
I mean,
you're going to piss that out.
When it's cold season and you're feeling something coming on, start ODing on vitamin C and see if it's going to hurt you.
You want 5 to 10,000 milligrams.
See, you can't hurt yourself.
No, 100%. And that's
same thing with vitamin D.
Well, and see, the thing about Megan was great is, she knows how to read those things. She knows how to research them. She knows what she's looking for.
Well, she got certified in it.
Yeah. She's not only that, but she's trained in how to read about health. And there's, when you do something a lot, you get good at it. You get proficient at it, right? When you do something a lot. So, and again, so where I'm going with this is, and I'm serious, we're going to drop some of the links for these studies in the description, so that you can see we're not just blowing smoke. It's real studies. It's real. It's real science. Now here's the thing. I guarantee you this though. If Kamala Harris would have won the presidency, and if she would have brought out these studies again, reintroduced them to the world or to the United States of America, which she wouldn't have anyway, because Big Pharma wouldn't have let that happen. But anyways, if she would have, then I can guarantee you'd have a bunch of liberal Democrat women on TikTok dancing, making dances about throwing away their Tylenol. You'd have a protest right now going with women protesting against Tylenol, saying, why were you okay with hurting babies and hurting kids? But because it was Mr. Trump and Bobby Jr., everybody's going nuts in the other way around. I mean, I've seen TikToks of ladies carrying around Tylenol like it's their god or something. Yeah. Or like little relics. And it's like, this is stupid. Now, the real science behind this, okay, is that there's a thing called the MTHFR gene. It looks like the motherfucking gene, right? Like that's what it looks like they're like doing when they're abbreviating it. But this gene mixed with certain ingredients that are in Tylenol. So this gene already makes it so that you don't detoxify as normal as other people, right? So if you get something in you just can't detox, or other folks can. Also, it doesn't let you retain the vitamins as well as other folks. Then you add to the point of some of these ingredients that are in Tylenol that also make it so it strips your body away from more things that help it to detoxify, okay? And then you add the toxicity of the toxins that are not only in the world day to day, but in those shots and the jabs, there's plenty of toxins. In these vaxes, there's so many toxins, so many adjuvants that seriously are bad toxins. And a lot of times they're at rates that are not safe. And even when they say they're safe, there's other studies showing there is no safe amount that you can not only put in your body, but then inject into your body. And then you add those together. You add that cocktail together, right? First, having that gene. Second, having the more bad ingredients that the Tylenol putting in you and giving you that are even making it harder for you to get those things out. And then you're going to add the toxic load. That is that complete deathly cocktail that is causing these problems, right? So it's not just like a one-step thing, right? It's a 3-step process that is, they say it's like having the match or the kindling having the fuel, and then you light that fire, right?
Don't forget the oxygen, but yeah.
That little but that's really what it's about, and that's really what's happening. And when you can't think that far ahead, right? When you're just thinking of, I don't like this person on the TV, that's what's holding you back from having a real honest conversation, having a real honest opinion, and really stops you from lying to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you end up lying to yourself about it. And that's what's really tough, right? You end up lying to yourself. And it can happen the same way as well, right? So you can love and really, really, really like somebody just because you're a fan of them. And then whatever they're saying, you just eat up and believe as well, right? It goes both ways, right? And you can eat that up even if their science is wrong, even if their numbers are wrong, even if the information is wrong. Just because you personally like them so much, then you can eat up the wrong information as well. And so what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying, I see it happen both ways all the time. Like, can I give another example really quick about Jimmy Kimmel? Okay, so Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not going to lie, I was in a band for a lot of years of my life. And our ultimate goal, not our ultimate goal, right? Everybody wants to win a Grammy, I think. Well, I want to win a Grammy, okay? But as a band, one of our big goals, one of our big things we used to always say before we used to start rehearsal or we start a new song, but okay, man, all right, now take this take like we're on Jimmy Kimmel, right? Because like if you're on Jimmy Kimmel Live as a band, it's kind of like you made it, right? It's kind of like back in the day you want to be on the Johnny Carson show, right? You want to like if you're a comedian, you on Johnny Carson, you kind of made it, right? So we say, you know, take this like we're on Jimmy Kimmel, okay? So Jimmy Kimmel though,
I'd have maybe watched it if you guys were on Jimmy Kimmel. I don't watch him. It's
Jimmy Kimmel Live. So yeah, but he's not funny. But here's what I want to say is that Jimmy Kimmel, let's say when he's talking about Mr. Trump, and he's calling Mr. Trump a misogynist, and saying that he has all of these accusations, and how he just hates women. He's such a weirdo. He's such a womanizer, and all these things, right? But they don't remember where Jimmy Kimmel got his gosh darn start. Yeah. Do you remember where Jimmy Kimmel got his start?
I've seen a lot of his clips in the last week.
No, his start. Do you know where he got his start? Like his Hollywood start, or his entertainment start? Okay, here's where I know Jimmy Kimmel from. Okay, now this is some
self-reflection.
Yeah, and self-embarrassment too. Okay, all right. When I was a young boy, probably 11 or 12, you first, 12, 13, whatever, you first getting them hormones and stuff kicking. There was a show on FX called The Man Show.
Oh yeah,
you heard The Man Show?
I never watched it, but I heard of it.
Okay, The Man Show. Jimmy Kimmel was one of the dudes on The Man Show. Okay, and The Man Show was all about objectifying women and misogyny. And I'm gonna keep it real, man. The Man Show this is like their theme. They just had hot chicks with big breasts jumping on trampolines. I don't know if you ever seen this.
That's what he wanted.
I don't know if you ever seen this, but seriously though.
So in the last week, there's been a lot of that stuff posted,
floating around like on TikTok stuff. Yeah. Okay, see, I don't even know because I'm not on the algorithm anymore. But when I was a kid, we used to seek out The Man Show because you could see girls or women jumping and bouncing their tits on the on the trampoline, wearing like bikinis, bouncing on the trampoline. And then sometimes they'd spray them down, they oil them up. And literally it was about objectifying women, right? That was how he got into the game, into the space. You pull it up, and Corolla was on it. Who are the other guys? Corolla was on it, right? If you scroll down again, it shows it shows the actors.
Yeah, up here. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right? Jimmy Kimmel, Corolla. But yeah, you see what's her name there? Julie Costello.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was on that bad boy?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Look, see, I don't remember Joe Rogan on it.
Aaron Hamlin.
But what I'm saying is but see, Joe Rogan never claimed to be holier than thou either.
No.
I'm just keeping it real, right? But literally like
Jerry Minor. I mean, there's a whole bunch of folks on there.
Yeah. But I'm talking about Jimmy Kimmel was like the main dude, man. He was like him and Corolla were like the mainstays, right? And literally, man, it was the most objectifying.
5 years on Comedy Central.
There you go, bro. This man it was the most objectifying like show out there.
It was satirizing and celebrating stereotypical male interests.
These dudes, when they want to say it was satire, not really, man. These dudes was out here on that bull crap.
Yeah.
Like, it really was. Like, and they literally had just
Well, there's
girls
lots of
just
things.
oogling.
There's
just
lots of
oogling.
things that are camouflaged as satire.
Sure thing. It was reinforcing.
Yeah.
It was definitely reinforcing. And it's kind of like a Dave Chappelle when he says, "Oh, they're laughing with you or at you." You know what I'm saying? And,
So, yeah, Joe Rogan was on it in 99 when it first started.
okay. Big Joe. Big Joe. But yeah, but that's what I'm saying is this dude plays holier than thou, but his whole gimmick was women bouncing on a trampoline for 5 years of his career or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about drinking beer and looking at women.
Yeah, literally. And I'm just saying, man, I mean, if that's the only thing that you can do for
Ben
comedy.
Stein was on it.
Oh, Ben Stein was on that bad
Yeah.
boy. When Ben Stein's money.
Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
She was hot.
Yeah. I used to have a poster of Cindy Crawford back in my day.
She was hot.
My mama let me get a poster of Cindy Crawford. I don't know why, but my mama let me get a poster of Cindy Crawford in a bathing suit, and it was like huge, and I put it on my wall. Like, that was wild. But yeah, man. But I'm just saying, like, though.
Well, and then Jimmy Kimmel did some blackface stuff too on that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Bruh. All I know is it's crazy how we can excuse those type of things and then vilify it while he's vilifying someone else. You know what I'm saying? And again, I just told y'all earlier in the show, right? I'm not a Trump fan. I never have been. And that being said, now I'm okay, you know what I'm saying? If Trump does something good that I like, I can admit it. And I can be like, oh, that was a good move. Or that's something I can agree with, right? But I'm just not like an overall Trump supporter. I don't have the bumper sticker. I didn't vote for the man. You know, none of that type of stuff. So, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that Jimmy Kimmel is nobody. But there's so many fans so hard on Jimmy Kimmel that even when he's wrong or says something wrong or says nonsense, they follow him lock and step.
Yeah.
Right? Follow him lock and step. Now, for example, too, he's so against anybody who's against vaccines. He's one of the biggest guys, one of the biggest haters of the anti-vax movement. And I'm talking about he ridicules them. He ostracizes them, people. He literally talks so much crap about anybody that just wants real good, solid science about vaccines. And then the crew will say, so many people will say from the left, oh, well, if you're not a doctor, you can't talk about it. You shouldn't have an opinion. You can't give a real opinion because you're not a doctor. But then they'll Google and oogle and eat up everything that Jimmy Kimmel says as if he was a doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just, I think Jimmy Kimmel is this whole thing of him off the air, on the air. It's just it's a product of the great divide that we have in our country. I mean, and it's there's a whole bunch of people on talk shows, on TV that say stuff that they don't believe 100% of.
Yeah.
But they say it just to get a reaction.
Sure.
And they don't really care who that hurts or doesn't hurt in that process, because it's labeled as entertainment or satire or, you know, some other way. And it really gets really politicized today because we are so divided.
I mean, look, I get it. I get some of the divide, and I understand. Like, for example, we'll go to Charlie Kirk, right?
I get the divide. I don't understand the personal hate. I get the divide on issues.
Yeah.
But I don't get the personal hate for someone about an issue.
I dig it. I think sometimes, okay, and I don't want to take it to hate again, right? But I'll take it to a point, for example, for Charlie Kirk, right? When he is chastising, I I just had her name in my head. Jasmine
Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. Thank you. Okay, when he's chastising Jasmine Crockett, saying she's not intelligent, called her ghetto, and his group of lackeys call her ghetto. She's not intelligent. She has a DEI hire, taking a white man's job. Those type of things, right? I could understand the disdain for those comments. And why it is because, okay, you're talking about how many...
Another human being.
Well, not only that, but a person who has a Juris Doctorate, who first off, right, when people call her ghetto, it's so weird to me. Her mother was a school teacher. Pretty sure her father was like a lawyer or some other type of professional. She went to all girls Catholic high schools. She went to like the equivalent of what like a Marian would be.
Born in 81.
She got her degree at was it Morehouse first? Then she goes on to Thurgood Marshall School of Law, which I personally took kids on tours to. An amazing institution that she transferred to Houston.
Attended Rhodes College, advisor professor.
Then she transferred to Houston.
CPA.
That's where she got her. Okay, she got a CPA because she was going to be in business. But while she was at Rhodes College, that's right, she faced so much racism that she decided to go be, and the attorneys helped her. She decided to go be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. Then so she went to Thurgood Marshall School of Law first in Houston, which we've visited with me and my son. And then she went on to get her Juris Doctorate actually from Houston law school. And then instead of taking a big job at a big firm, she goes and she's a public defender, right? And uses her law degree being a public defender, helping those who can't afford a lawyer. But by the Constitution, what do? We give you a lawyer, right? We give you someone to defend yourself in the court of law, right? If you cannot afford representation, one will be appointed to you, by the state. So she was one of those people. And I can tell you from experience, most of those people, those public pretenders is what we call them. They whack. So think about how dope it would be to have a Jasmine Crockett, a person that actually cared about you being your public, defender. Then, and I'm saying this again, because I don't agree with a lot of what I've heard from Jasmine Crockett, right? I've had differences of agreement about her for a lot of things. But that being said, the person that she is so well qualified. Like she's so well qualified to be a representative from her state, from her district, and then when people say she's not qualified, Texas. From Texas, but her district that she's in as well, she's representing a lot of the people that look like her and that think like her and that need her representation. But what I'm saying is when we have this big DEI blanket that we throw out there, right? We delegitimize her whole background, her whole struggle, her whole hard work and fight, not only to pass or what she did in high school, what she did in college as undergrad, and then what she did to get her Juris Doctorate degree. You know what I'm saying? Like we delegitimize that, which is just crazy to me. And then especially coming from a person who hasn't done any of those things, right? And I'm not saying you have to have a college degree. I'm not so hipped up on like you had to have a college degree. But I think to call someone else non-qualified while they have all these qualifications that you don't, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, right? It's like me, I think, calling an engineer unqualified when I ain't go to engineering school. Not only that, but me calling somebody unqualified and I didn't work in the industry for 20 years and get all the experience and learn all the things and learn along with them. And you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It's like, and so I understand some of the disdain for people who have opinions like that and why people would be very triggered from that. Now, let's take it a step further. Would I have, I don't know, that turn the other cheek in me for someone who has personally attacked me, personally attacked my qualifications, personally questioned my right to be in the position that I'm in? Now, do I have the turn the other cheek in me to vote for a resolution to honor him? I'm not there yet, Pops.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not Jesus enough.
Well, I mean, I guess the
Okay, what's your thought process on
so
that?
my thought process on that is saying that you honor him. I mean, I guess that's different. There was a whole lot of people. I mean, you know, Martin Luther King Day, a lot of that stuff. And I never looked back at how those votes went when they were voting for like a Martin Luther King Day to see if it was 100% Republicans and, you know, only, or 100% Democrats, only 3 Republicans voted to have Martin Luther King. But when somebody dies, to me, even if they were a controversial figure and the bulk of your colleagues are saying, yeah, we need to do something here, I would probably fall in line. That's probably who I am. But I don't know, you know, like some of those other, you know, like the two, the Democrat in Minnesota and wife that got killed, shot, murdered.
Yeah.
It was a unanimous vote to, and I don't remember whether it was honor or exactly what they did, but there was a unanimous vote for it.
And they were elected officials, right?
One wasn't. His wife wasn't.
One was a spouse, right? But no, the wife was, the husband wasn't.
Husband, I did.
Yeah. So, but she's an elected official, right? She's a Minnesota congresswoman. She's an elected official, which is, it's standard. It's standard, right? Mm-hmm. This is just a public influencer. Like, and I'm just keep it real. Why? Like, when have we done, like, I think like the comparison between Martin Luther King Jr. and Charlie Kirk, like to put them in the same sentence is like blasphemy. Why? And again, I just go over the qualifications, man. You know, this is Martin Luther King Jr. was 15 when he first attended college. That's the Morehouse grad when he first attended college. He had his doctorate by the time he was 22 years old. This man was doing, 300 and something days of bus boycotts. This man was taking slaps in houses and shots to the head before he was in his 30s. This man, when he was 30, his house was being firebombed multiple times with his wife and kids inside of it by racists really trying to kill him every day. This man was a person who went to everyone and said, I'm going to love everyone. He wasn't going around debating college kids. He was literally changing the world. And I think that there's a difference in saying, cool, you open a forum and let people talk and you're a debater. But, and I've heard this a lot of times when people have been like, well, here's what they did for Martin Luther King Jr. Or here's, like, I kind of think like,
I was just looking at the vote. I mean, so here's the final House of Representative votes. August 2nd, 83 was 338 to 90, 242 to 4 in the House Democratic Caucus, and 89-77 in the House Republican Caucus. So it was kind of a split vote.
For
Martin Luther King,
for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Now look, again, what in the world? I'm just keeping it real, man. What in the world would make? Okay, you know how you've said you don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk says, that you agree with a lot of it or some of it, but not everything. Tell me something you don't agree with that Dr. Martin Luther King said.
I haven't studied enough of it to tell you.
Any clip that you've seen, like, I don't think that you have to have the whole context of everything that he said. Just like I don't think I have to have the whole context of what Charlie Kirk ever said. But I'm saying you've seen enough clips of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, right? Have you ever heard him say something that you disagree with?
No, I mean he was basically spreading love for humanity.
Okay. Now I'm just saying, like,
but I don't know.
But this ain't
details.
tough though, Pops. But this ain't tough. It's like we don't have to get into surgery with this. This ain't tough. That vote does not warrant what we just said. The only reason that vote is for is just because of the racist history of America. Like those numbers you said just a little bit ago, that's just the racist history of America from Democrat and Republican.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised.
Well, no, because you got to remember, this is only 15 years after the ultimate swap from Southern Dixiecrats to the Republicans that freed the slaves. Like, you see what I'm saying though? Like, remember in the 60s, they made that swap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that vote was in 83.
I know. That's
I mean,
only,
that was...
I'm saying that's like 15 years post the swap.
Yeah.
So there was still a lot of hangers around, still in the Democratic Party, still a lot of hangers around. Like, you see what I'm saying, though? Like, you know what I'm saying? This is, I guess what Childish Gambino said, like, this is America. But all I'm saying is, it's not that hard. You do not have a clip. And I would challenge anybody in the comments, please show me a clip. Show me a clip. And I promise you, like the show me state like Missouri, show me a clip of something that you can disagree with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. about. And look, I'm going to send you $10. Like, I will send you a Hamilton. I'm for right. It's Hamilton on the $10 bill. Am I tripping?
I think that's right.
I think, like, I will send you a Hamilton. Like, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm so serious. But that's what I'm trying to say is, like, to put, and I've seen this comparison being made. I'm not picking on you, Pops. I'm saying I've just seen this comparison being made between him and Dr. Martin Luther King. And it's like, how, Sway?
Well,
how?
I can't believe that in 1983, they weren't unanimous votes.
In 1983, I believe you still probably couldn't buy a house in Sheridan Boulevard in Lincoln, Nebraska if you were black.
Yeah.
So I can believe it because I know how racist this country is.
I was engaged to be married.
I wasn't even married. I wasn't even alive.
You weren't even alive yet.
I wasn't even thought about. I was not even thought about. My dad was still breakdancing.
But it amazes me that was not a unanimous vote.
And so can you understand a little bit now how Charlie Kirk can't be unanimous, especially with black folks? Now, and I hate to even put, like I said, him, the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Charlie Kirk in the same sentence, because it's like Charlie don't deserve that, and it's a disservice to the Reverend Dr. King. That being said, I'm not trying to delegitimize anyone's life. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, their pursuit of happiness, and their opinions, right? 100%. But we do not have to agree to put a person on a pedestal that doesn't need to be raised to that level.
To me, the interesting thing apart it was that it took, I don't remember, he was assassinated in 68.
It took a song by Stevie Wonder to help make that national holiday happen too. That happy birthday song we be singing, that's really about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Did you know that? Yeah, that happy birthday to you.
When was he shot?
To you. Happy birthday. I don't know the year specifically.
That I'm disappointed in, Ishma.
Oh yeah, I know. I should.
Assassinated April 4th, 1968.
There you go, 68. See,
so,
look,
I
don't know the day he was born too. I should know the day he was born.
Took a long time for that to happen.
Again, you know how many people are okay, Pops, let me give you something that's more gross. You ready for something that's more gross? In the United States of America, the ultimate union, the best nation in the world, okay? I think so. Even with all our troubles, I think so.
No place else I'd rather live.
Okay, so our union on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, go down south. As soon as you get past Missouri, in Missouri and everywhere down south, you know it's not Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, do you? Do you know what day it is? Robert E. Lee Day.
Really? The
Confederate general who seceded from our great union, who fought against our great union to keep our great union apart.
Is it still that way now?
Right now.
Really?
It's wild. I'm not playing. Like you will go to the Walmart website in Missouri, and it's gonna say closed to the place. I'm sorry, not Walmart ain't never closed except for Christmas, right? But you go to these other places, literally it'll say closed in observance of Robert E. Lee Jr. Day. Pull it up. It is gross. It is redonkulous. But that's I'm pull out that Childish Gambino. This is America. This is America. This is America.
It just says here, yes, all 50 states celebrate. But I don't know. I haven't been down there on Martin Luther King Day.
Just ask him. Just say Robert Lee, E. Jr. Day. Say which state celebrates Robert E. Lee. Yeah, it's a federal holiday, so the federal is supposed to be over. But just ask it, what days or which states celebrate Robert E. Lee Jr. Day? Or Robert E. Lee. It ain't even Jr. I'm tripping, right? Just Robert E. Lee. Look, I'm putting the junior on it. Don't even need the junior. Yeah, the Robert E. Lee. Like, it's crazy. It's gross. But that's when we talk about how America's separated in so many ways still. You know, that's one of the examples, is how many people are still so crazy about Robert E. Lee.
It's Alabama and Mississippi.
Nah, man, it's more like I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Yeah. I feel it. But I've seen it. Look, let's say Florida State holiday, Robert E. Lee birthday. There's Arkansas. There's a whole bunch.
Arkansas no longer.
No longer.
So 17, removed it in 17. Virginia abolished it in 2020.
I was over here.
Georgia changed the holiday to an paid holiday and no longer calls it Robert E. Lee.
That's the AI?
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee Day on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yeah, so what do you call it? Look, still says that in Alabama and
only 2 states
in Mississippi. Man, I've been traveling on that day and seen it in multiple places.
Yeah, I'm just
No, I'm reading the same thing you are. The same thing you are. I'm definitely reading the same thing you are. Yeah, but I've seen it with my own thing, which is crazy.
I'm not trying to throw any stones.
No, 100%. That's what it's supposed to be. I mean, that's what the show is about. Is about pulling it up. We can fact check
each
check
other.
It. Right here, right now.
I know, folks, you probably don't believe it, but we actually fact check each other a lot off camera when we're having great conversations at holidays, meals, breaking bread, I mean, whatever. I mean, we fact check each other a lot and talk about, because we talk about such broad things.
No, sometimes instead of like, what do you call it? We'll be talking, the other person's just on the phone like, hold on.
Hey,
hold on. Let me see this. Let me see this real quick.
It's more completely full of shit.
No, but for real.
But yeah, I mean, we do it really. And you know, the problem is with the internet is you can fact check it, but you got to fact check in about 3 places to really find out for sure.
So yeah.
That's why Ishma is also doing this additional fact check.
Yeah, same thing like Tennessee. So it says it doesn't.
A lot of them.
It doesn't do it on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but it does it the 19th is Robert E. Lee Day. So, and if the same
legal holiday.
So if the same day, if the third day, what is it? Martin Luther King Jr. Day is supposed to be the third Sunday of the year, or whatever. If that falls on the same day as the 19th, then it's crazy. Said only Alabama, Mississippi continue to commemorate Robert Lee as the same day as Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But if you go state by state, you'll see that so many of them have in January 19th or around January, they still have that Robert E. Lee Day as. So a lot of them is the 19th instead of the 17th, which used to be the 17th the same day. And then a lot of them are doing it the 19th, or excuse me, the 17th. What about Missouri? Pull up Missouri. Because I believe I was in Missouri when I saw it the day. And I was like, what the heck? Or maybe I was on a...
I traveled so much, I kind of got oblivious to all that stuff.
Yeah, you were just...
Unless I was going to like the bank and, it's a federal holiday. Then I'm like, shit. That actually happened to me buying a vehicle one time in Kansas City because I was trying to wire money. And they were closed. The banks were closed on Monday. I don't even remember what... I don't not remember what the holiday was.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was a holiday. But I was trying to wire money to buy this vehicle.
And
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it on that Monday because they were closed for the holiday. And I actually ended up getting a hold of the banker and they actually did it for me. But it was,
what state were we in? It was Alabama, I guess. When we were in that, what do you call it? Which states still have a piece of the Confederate flag, it looks like?
Don't know.
The state flags still have a piece of the Confederate flag. Like looking very, very, it's like that's a crazy one too, where they like keep that Confederate battle flag as state flags.
Stupid.
But a lot of people think that that's breaking heritage when you move away from that.
Well, so I get individuals maybe, but I don't get state governments doing that. But we can't erase all of our negative history, even if we wanted to. We are a country. As I was at a funeral of a really, really, really neat guy.
Okay.
And it was a great eulogy, great funeral. And walking out, I said to his daughter, I said, no, that was a great service. And, I really always enjoyed my conversations with your father. And she said, Mark, but just understand that my father, like every one of us, had warts too. Mm. And that really made me think, coming from his daughter, that really made me think of, wow, that's probably true. I mean, all of us, that's probably true of all of us. There was one perfect guy and he died on the cross for us. I mean, the rest of us probably all got warts.
That's.
I mean, I don't want to admit it, and probably don't want anybody talking about it at my funeral, but I probably do have. I mean, there's no doubt. No doubt at all.
Yeah, but there's a difference, I think, in having that as a country and celebrating it as a country, right? Celebrating it. So, okay, we got Alabama, Mississippi. Okay, these are the people that recognize Robert E. Lee Day on his birthday. States that are currently doing it right now still. You got Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, North Carolina, Arkansas, Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee where we were at that time. It must have been Tennessee where I saw that. And I was like, what the heck? Tennessee. And then a lot of states still have Confederate Memorial Days as well. So correction, not all Southern states celebrate Robert E. Lee Jr. Day, or excuse me, Robert E. Lee Day on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. 2 states still currently do, but there's still many Southern states that have a commemoration holiday for Robert E. Lee. Now, again, Robert E. Lee is effectively, could you call him the biggest traitor in American history?
Well,
you have a country. Try to split up the country and go fight against the country.
All of the Confederates felt they were doing what was best for the country. I mean, I think they probably actually believed that.
For their country, like they
wanted
a separate country,
or they wanted our country to be like that.
No, they wanted a separate country. Yeah, I mean, they seceded from the Union and then effectively declared war on the Union.
So there actually is a Robert E. Lee Jr.
Oh, is there a Lee Jr.?
The sixth of the 7 children born of the Confederate general.
Oh man.
I just had to look. I mean, you said it so many times. I was like, I got to look now.
There's a junior, Victor Mahone Jr. There's a junior. But that's
because there's probably somebody else going to watch this. They're going to look at it and go, there is a Robert E. Lee Jr.
Why keep on saying junior?
And he was also a Confederate.
I dig it. His daddy Confederate, he Confederate. But literally, it's crazy to me how we don't have the same disdain for them as other traitors. You know what I'm saying?
But you think about
what I'm saying is,
but you think about the Civil War. Mm-hmm. Many of those generals, Union generals and Confederate generals, were classmates at West Point.
Sure, cool.
I mean, that's wild to me. Same training, same deal.
I dig it. I dig it.
That just.
I didn't
realize that until I was doing looking at some other stuff. I didn't realize that.
Oh no, I definitely know that because of, I guess this is just one of the subjects that I was very fascinated with was, being black, I think a lot of people are fascinated with the Civil War, right? And especially me I remember in history, my AP history class, going to debates with my teacher about getting a wrong answer when he says what was the main cause of the Civil War. And here's what's crazy about hiding racism is he's teaching kids the main cause of the Civil War was states' rights, not slavery. What was the state right that the Confederate was worried about?
It was
slavery. It was slavery, but that was the state right. That was the difference of their right to own slaves.
So and I think when I had history in school, mm-hmm. It was about slavery. It was taught about slavery.
And I would commend your teacher for just keeping it a buck.
I mean, that was
100.
That was in our textbook.
That was in the book. Now, for some reason, it was masked. This is AP history, right? So this is supposed to be like the advanced placement. Yeah. It's like the honors history.
Yeah.
Right? Which the bourgeoisie history.
Yeah, I never took any AP classes.
But seriously though, and maybe like I'm saying, back in your day, they just called a square, right?
Yeah.
They just look, it's a squirrel, right?
Yeah.
So here they're trying to say that it was states' rights, but the state right we're talking about is the right to own slaves.
Yeah.
Now the reason, and this is by the Alexander.
But then my entire family heritage from when, as far back as I've been able to find, my grandmother did a bunch of genealogy and stuff. Northern Missouri is as far south of anybody in the Bell, Shriner, McMullen, Hankey. All of them came across the northern part of the U.S. They never were part of the southern heritage. We were the Nebraska City Bells. That was my great-grandfather. And I can remember as a really, really, really young kid going to John Brown's Cave and, walking and seeing all that stuff. When it seemed like it was really big, when I went there as an adult, I was like, wow, man, I really got to bend over to come through. This isn't near as big as what I remember it being when I was 7.
I want to get into John Brown in just a minute because I really want to circle back to John Brown because John Brown is one of my ultimate heroes.
Let's circle back to it, but I want to kind of close the loop a little bit on. So Robert Kennedy Jr.
Going back to Bobby Jr.
Well, who has a lot of
Bobby
very solid thought processes and spent his life really as an environmentalist and attorney.
Yeah.
But because his name was Kennedy, that's a lot of political clout, although
Kennedy curse.
He was, definitely part of the Kennedy curse and hated for many of his views because it's probably why the Kennedys got shot so often, quite frankly, because they didn't play ball. They were like, these are the facts and this is what's going on. If you don't like it, screw you. Or no, we don't want to do this, that's not where we're going as a country. And well, then we're going to whack you. And they did. And he's, is Bobby Kennedy a clean all-American boy? No, man, the guy's had plenty of very tainted, interesting history as an adult. But his heart is primarily, like with all of the Kennedys, has primarily been, I think, very much so about America being a great country and doing the right things for its people. Again, I don't agree with everything they said, but I think their heart most generally was in the right place.
Okay.
So we've now had a Catholic president who lived through a term. Joe.
Big Biden.
That's it.
Could Joe take communion?
I don't know if they let him or not. I wouldn't have, but I'm not that high in the church. But he's the first Catholic president to win. First Catholic president to live through his term.
If he wasn't a clone.
Yeah, well, they say he lived. I mean,
No, I'm sorry. I'm doing a whole bunch.
Could have been one.
I'm doing too much.
Could have been one of Elon's early robots. Or
right.
something.
I'm doing too much. No, I dig it.
But anyway, I just want to kind of close the loop on that. And he's doing a lot of. Yeah. He's looking at a lot of studies.
He is
coming out with a different point of view, which I don't think that's bad. It's kind of no different than the whole climate thing. In my lifetime, we were supposed to be flooded, burned up, starved, gone. And that goes back to the 60s, 70s, and none of it's happened. The only thing it's really done is it's made a lot of people very rich. By doing it and taken a lot of tax money away from American citizens.
Mr. Al Gore.
Where we could have been feeding people. Housing people. Having better mental health.
No, 100%.
So it's kind of a money grab. So I just wanted to kind of close that loop on that whole piece. And I hope he continues to go down that path. I was really surprised when he and Trump were able to strike a deal and he got out of the race and supported Trump, and that Trump did as he said he was going to do, which was put him in charge of.
I told you I didn't believe that was going to happen, but he Trump
Kept his promise.
keeps his word.
He does.
I think, well, for the most part, I guess the Epstein files ain't out yet, but other than that,
Well, that's, I was
he
just
kept his word.
the whole Epstein files thing, that was in the hands. I mean, there was just somebody that got up on the floor of Congress and said, we've seen these, I think it was like 4,072 bank transfers of over $1 billion into this Epstein account. And
Again,
I'm thinking, well, didn't anybody look at who was sending that money?
look, all I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not hating because Trump didn't bring them out, because Biden and them, any Democrat that's saying Trump, why didn't you bring out the Epstein files, shut up. Because your man was in there for 4 years and didn't do anything. He could have did it, should have did it, would have did it, and all that. So, like, shut up. But my thing is,
It goes back to Obama, too. I mean, back in those days.
Clinton could have brought him out.
Yeah.
Okay, but all I'm trying to say is this. W could have brought him out, but all I'm trying to say is this. But the man did campaign on releasing him. But all I'm saying is, it seemed like everything the man campaigns on, he done is set for that.
Well, he has released.
I guess he ain't dropped.
I think
prices.
everything that he can release so far. So far, there's still federal judges holding things up that won't allow him to release them, and some of them are unsealed that he can't unseal.
So with the strike of a pen, that man can do a lot.
Well, he can if he can get them.
But then they'd be saying like, oh, he wants to do it the right way, this way, that way, that way. Man, you strike your pen for everything else. But I feel it. Like I said, I'm not.
I'm
just saying, I think I know why Biden didn't release him, because he's in him. Why would Trump release him? He's in him.
Well, and there's other. I don't think it's as much about them being in him personally.
Is they boys?
Is all the boys with all the money that's.
Is they boys? Is they boys is in it?
It's a boys club.
Yeah, they boys is in it. They boys is in it. No, I dig it.
I mean, Bill Gates, I think, got divorced over it.
I dig it, man. I don't like to talk about appearances, but man, that Melinda Gates. No, I'm stop. Okay. Anyways, no, 100%. I dig it. And Bobby, I've been with Bobby the whole way. Again, I can separate things I don't like about somebody from truth that I think, right? So, for example, he made this big long post about Charlie Kirk. He said, today we lost the greatest orator of our era, or some crap like that, or most eloquent speaker of our era, or something like that. And I just was like, ew. Like, not even close. But if that's what he believes and he wants to say it, then that's fine. That's whatever. All good, all gravy. His opinion doesn't stop the facts of the medical stuff that he's bringing out. Right? That's all I'm saying.
The one thing that I will say about Charlie Kirk that I really liked is that he went to college campuses to educate young voters and to communicate with them in an open mic. He didn't care who came up to the mic. Everybody got their time at the mic. And I don't think we as a country do enough of that. And I think there's a lot of indoctrination happens in colleges, just from when my son went to college in some of his classes, that become political that aren't political. There's nothing political in engineering. Mm-hmm. But I think there's some indoctrination things that attempt to happen in colleges that there's really no place for.
Yeah, I think...
Unless you're in political science.
I dig it. I guess I despise that every time somebody would come up with any type of black issue, he'd be like, black people are 13% of the population, commit 58% of the crime. Like, it's just not true. Like, they don't commit 58% of the crime.
They're charged 58%.
Yeah, like, we don't know who's committing crime. Like, there's no real, like, but you know what I'm saying? There's no real actual documents on who's committing crime. Like, that's a stat that just is almost impossible to get. Then he also didn't bring up that 60% of the people that are acquitted from the crimes that they are charged with are what? Black people, right? Also doesn't bring up, and then when he's talking about like the amount of murders or the amount of people in jails, like some of his stats are just point blank wrong. Well, like just wrong. Where I mean, like, they do this percent of the murders. When it's like it's not.
So it's just like I was having this online debate with this guy, and he said, Chicago's not even the top 10 for murders per capita. And I'm like, well, if you look at per capita, I don't know that that's a good measurement. I look at totals. I mean, I'm interested in the total amount of people that die from a murder, or that die from a pandemic, or that die from drug overdose. I don't get hung up on exactly where it happens based on percentages and in ratios. I mean, if Chicago has 840 people shot and murdered or shot and died, that's the largest in our country. It's not our largest city. Per capita, yeah, there's other towns that are bigger than Memphis. I think is higher than that per capita, but
It is.
but
Well, I mean, I understand. Like, for example, if you have a city that has 50 people in it, and you have 2 murders, right? Then you're going to be the highest per capita.
yeah,
Like
for a long time.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. I remember a lyric from Kanye West where he says something like 350 died in Iraq. He said 509 died in Chicago. And that was like the amount of people that died that year from gun violence in Chicago compared to how many people in a war died in Iraq, right? And that was an amazing lyric. But no, I know what you're saying, which is crazy too, because like, when you're just in Chicago, you're just kicking it in Chicago, right? But don't go to the projects.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the reality is, where it's like, damn, some people are living in really dangerous spaces. You know what I'm saying? I dig it.
There's these probably 20 square blocks that 80% of those
murders are happening.
Yeah.
And then we go back to, and I just like to always go back because I think it's very important. I like to see how we got here. So, for example, if you have cancer, right? I think like you have to go back. How did you get there? Right? How did you get there? Or all of a sudden you weigh 500 pounds. Well, hold on. You didn't just start weighing 500 pounds. Like, let's go back. How did you get there? What were you putting in your face for?
And it wasn't
for
the fork's
10
fault.
years, right? You know what I'm saying? No, for real though.
Yeah.
So like, then I like to go back and I'll be like, oh yeah, okay. When Chicago was way more safe and we were having revolution, and there was. And if we're like, I'm just bringing it to the black on black crime that Charlie Kirk loved to highlight, right? Was black on black crime, negating that 90% of white murders or kill white people, Mexican people kill Mexican people. It's just demographics. I mean, it's geographical. You're right. It's just where they live.
And that was
Italians kill Italians. Like, what you call it,
That was one of the epiphanies you showed me, and then I get to looking at it and
I'm like, damn, oh yeah, that's right. But it's like, okay, so you're in a place like Chicago, right? So let's just go over the black on black crime, and we go back to the 70s and early 80s, but late 70s, right? And you're looking at people like the Black Panthers, and you're looking at what the Black Panther Party was and meant in Chicago, and what they were doing, right? And it wasn't just about black folks. Because you got to remember, the Black Panther Party and the chairman Fred Hampton, when you were seeing those meetings, you go back and look at the videos. It was Chicanos, it was white folks, folks from the hills.
But didn't
it was yellow folks, it was red folks. What I'm trying to say is, black people together there, right during that era, were mobilizing into peacefulness. We're mobilizing into betterment. And what happened?
But wasn't the Black Panthers originally just an anti-Vietnam War group?
No, the Black Panthers originally, right? And what it was, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. It's a political party, right? It's a political party. And what they did was they were starting in Oakland, California with your boy Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. And what they were doing was they were literally mobilizing black people to stop police brutality and to gain spaces in the political sphere so they could run their communities when it came to political power, right? And so there was so much police brutality happening that was unjust and wasn't being punished in any way, or disciplined in any way, right? That what they would do early on, here's the tactic. A black person got pulled over, or a black person was being harassed by the police, and what they would do is they would just show up armed and watch. They would literally just sit on the sidelines and watch. And what it was a pressure that then would stop the brutality from happening, because they were just watching, right? Literally.
Too many witnesses.
Yeah, and they were just watching. And then on the other hand of it, they were armed. Now, which was so much different than like other black movements at that time, right? So there was, of course, like the Christian Southern Leadership and Martin Luther King's movement. And then there was the Nation of Islam, the Black Muslim movement. And those were two movements that were totally nonviolent, totally unarmed. Like, right, to be a Nation of Islam member, you cannot be armed. Like, you cannot carry a knife, a gun, a weapon. Like Martin Luther King Jr. and them, when they're in the Nation of Islam, or excuse me, Malcolm X, when they're in the Nation of Islam, it's unarmed movement, right? Their bodyguards, the Fruit of Islam, unarmed, like completely unarmed. Like that picture right there, that's after he was out the nation. He left the nation before he got a gun. You see what I'm saying? Like that was later. No, but even now, right now, the Nation of Islam movement, you cannot have a gun. It is against the charter. So even when you see the Fruit of Islam,
so as a Nation of Islam member,
as a Nation of Islam member, the Black Muslims,
not as a Muslim,
not as a Muslim. See, and that's a different thing of culture, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like if you're talking about a Muslim, just a person who follows Islam, you're not supposed to be armed either. You follow Islam. Islam means peace. Like it's against the religion. That being said, Christ, do you think Christ would be armed
today? Probably.
No. Come on, was Christ armed?
No,
like Christ wasn't armed. Like Christ wasn't. Christ turned the other cheek, right? I'm just saying, right? So Christ wasn't armed, but Christians did the Crusades, right?
Well,
but I'm just trying to say, Islam's supposed to be peace, but you have Islamists at that time as well going to war. Like you see what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying from the premise. But anyways, the Nation of Islam. But I'm just saying those black movements, they were unarmed movements, right? That was what was so different about the Black Panthers. That they were like the first black movement to say, no. We're going to be armed. Like we're going to fight a little bit of fire with fire here, right? Whether you agree with it or not, right?
Yeah.
So, but that was the difference of the Black Panthers. But so anyways, they were armed, yes. But in Chicago, when they were doing things like free breakfast, free lunch, free health clinics, when they were doing things like Saturday schools, teaching economics, getting liquor stores out of the hoods. I mean, doing things, empowering fathers, parenting type gatherings, right? They're doing these things that are bringing pride to black people, which is a big difference.
Pride to the community.
It's a big difference of having pride and a big difference of being prideful, right? You know what I'm saying? It's to where you're having gang on gang members and gang on gang members, right? And that's the problem right now. It's I don't like you because you live on the other block compared to hold on. No. We're all one neighborhood here. We're all one people. Love thy neighbor. We're all together. That was the Black Panther influence. And what happened to that Black Panther influence? The FBI, CIA, Chicago State local police, they killed those people. They hunted them down and killed them. And because of the result, they were a threat. They were a threat because black unity that doesn't result in black people wanting to not like each other, wanting to hate each other, kill each other, fill up the jails. That's a threat to the establishment of, this big revolving door of money that they have going, right?
Cash.
So big cash. So what I'm saying is, that's why I like to look back on like why that happened. You know what I'm saying? So Chicago and those inner cities are dangerous because we took out the positivity that was there, that existed there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing that's happening in B-More right now when they brought it back. Like they brought back free childcare, brought back after school programs, brought back the pride in the people and the relevance of the people. And now like they dropped the murder rate by like 70%. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you bring back that
structure,
that
positive structure,
all that good stuff.
It's not all.
You're right.
You're
right. But when you bring back positive structure, you know what I'm saying? And that's why when you go around to suburb towns that a lot of times are, sometimes anyway, are predominantly white, you know what I'm saying? And they have great after school activities. They have great infrastructure. They have parents that aren't socioeconomically in despair, so they can afford daycare, good child care. They have good jobs. Then the kids are doing extracurricular activities, playing sports and things like that. Do you see a bunch of murders? You know what I'm saying? So that's like where it's at.
It becomes kind of the product of the environment. If you don't build a positive environment, you're going to have a negative environment, and when negative environments give you negative results.
100%. That's why I think that you were afraid for us to live in Nebraska City, right?
Yeah.
Just because of your experience of like, hey, look, there's some negative stuff going on there. I don't want my grandkids being raised around some negative stuff, right?
It's a river town. I mean, and the only mixed people there are Hispanic mostly.
People are gonna watch this and think we're crazy. We're talking about Nebraska City, right? Coming off of Chicago, they're gonna be like, "What the f are they?"
And Nebraska City
talking
is
about?
really a safe community, as you compare it to a Chicago.
But your experience.
Well, every time, all three of us were born there. Every time we went back to Nebraska City as kids, one of us got in real trouble. And typically we got in trouble with the law.
Yeah.
And typically it was over fisticuffs or, I had a brother that a guy pulled out a pellet gun, it ended up being, but shot him just over the eye with it. Of course, my brother being my brother, took the gun away from him and pistol whipped him with it. So he'd never want to shoot anybody again. Of course, Grandpa had to go to court, and it was kind of a big deal. But
but products of environments are real. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing, and that's why you're like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't want my kids in public schools.
Yeah.
Because like products of environments, really, not saying that all kids come to public schools are, I'm not saying that. Come on now. Just like there's plenty of kids that come out of inner cities that are brilliant, great, and all that. But it's just so much easier to be a product of your environment if you're not in a positive space.
If you're in positive spaces and you think positive things, you're going to have positive outcomes.
More than not. Yes, more than not. 100%.
Statistically.
Yes.
And same reason why our kids went to Catholic. I wasn't Catholic when our kids were first starting to school. I was a convert after. But I saw the value of the safety and the integrity and the teachers wanting to be there. My wife being one of them. She never wanted to teach in a public school. Could have made way more money, could have had way better retirement. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that teach in the public schools that wouldn't change it for the world because they want the challenge. They really 100%. Want to help people. It's just different 100%. Aspects of how people manage their lives.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But
not a right or wrong.
No, 100%. But, and get back to the point, like I would not want my, kids to grow up in inner city Chicago. And I bet a lot of people who are there wish that they were somewhere different as well. There's probably plenty of parents that are like, man, I wish that I was growing up in this neighborhood.
Look at the kids at Malone that have come from Chicago or come from other places to live with a relative. And
they talk about how great it is here. Yeah. Like how happy they are to be in Nebraska. I mean, I was talking to my guy the other day who I was doing film work with, and he's on camera. He was like, coming to Nebraska saved my life coming from Chicago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He literally said that. He played ball for the Huskers. Mm-hmm. So coming from Chicago, coming to Nebraska saved my life. Now, again, that's not a hit on Chicago. That's not a mark on Chicago. I'm not saying that at all.
Chicago's a great city.
Oh, yeah. Great city. Great
city. I
city.
love visiting there. I would never want to live there.
My man, J. Cole, right now, Jamal Cole, he's down there doing activism work in Chicago right now. My block, my hood, my city, shout out, doing the good work down there. And because there's plenty of great people anywhere. There's plenty of bad people anywhere, right? But just the circumstances, and that's why I like to point out the circumstances of what breeded the problems that we have around a lot of cities. And it's because our movements were broken. You know what I'm saying? Our gangs got turned around. Like I said in the one lyric, like we had gangs like Panthers, you know what I'm saying? And then they quieted our anthem, and that's what I mean by that. Like they literally killed our heroes, Speaking of heroes, okay, let me get back to John Brown. John Brown as a hero. If you don't know who John Brown was, just do some reading and some history on him. Some real reading. And here's why I think history is important, Pops. Because our schools don't teach John Brown. Okay? Our schools, and what I mean by that is, when my children were in school, well, they're still in school, but when they got the John Brown lesson, you know the lesson they got? John Brown was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and that's completely different from what I got when I was in school. I mean, I know that's
still though
40, 50 years removed.
Wait, but you was in Nebraska City.
No, I mean, we moved when I was 7.
Okay.
But I had I knew who John Brown was because I was born in Nebraska City.
Yeah.
I was there until I was 7.
But still, your school didn't paint him as crazy.
No.
Okay. Our school paints John Brown as a religious, crazy fanatic. It's like with the new schools. Like, that's the question. So these kids had to do this debate as, was John Brown crazy or a fanatic, right? or was John Brown, sane and had something that he was thinking about, had something going? How was that even a debate topic?
I have
with
no
John
idea.
Brown crazy. So of course my kids, they know about John Brown.
I mean, maybe, people maybe at the time thought he was crazy by putting his life in peril to bring slaves out of Missouri and to save them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe people thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
But looking back, now we have hindsight. So we're teaching history now. And even my textbooks painted him as fanatic and crazy.
Really?
Yeah. They said that he was like just one flew
just
over
like Common Core
nose.
math shit that they went to.
Seriously though. And so what it does is it gives you this dynamic of and see, everything's subliminal. Like so much stuff is subliminal, how we think we don't even know it, right? So we get painted this picture that John Brown's crazy. Then every other picture we get painted of white people who you look up to from back in that day, for the most part, were just slave owners, right? Sure, there were presidents, but they owned human people. Now that being said,
so wealthy white folks that had plantations, we'd call them farms today, all had slave laborers.
But see, that's not true, because only less than 3% of American white men owned slaves. Now, even when it was wealthy white men, the percentage is super low. And a lot of people owned land without having slaves. That's all I'm saying.
And I should preface that because there was a definite geographical area that had more slaves and slave ownership than none.
Even in the South, it was you were in the minority as a slave owner.
Really?
A white person. I mean, fact check it again. How many white men owned slaves in the South? Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I've seen it a few times, and fact check if we're wrong. But I know in America, it was under 5% of white men in America owned slaves, just in general. Now, even when you go to the South, it was by far the minimum of white people that owned slaves. It was a minimum of people that owned slaves. So what I'm saying is, it was a low amount of people that owned slaves. It wasn't like everybody owned slaves. Like that was just the thing everybody did, was own another human being, right? Now, and get us the real stat on that. Now what I'm saying is John Brown, being a white man, okay, who not only didn't own slaves, but was adamantly against it so much that he would go and shed blood over it.
He put his life on the line for it.
Not only his life, his son died for it. Not only his life, what is AI telling us?
So in the formal Confederacy in 1860, there was 316,000 households that owned slaves. That's that. I went to the formal Confederacy.
The 11 states that would from
the Confederacy had approximately 316,000 households.
It only counts the head of the household, not every person who benefited from it. Okay, so approximately 30% of free families, Confederate states owned at least one slave. So 30% in the South at that time, what?
Yeah, that was in 1860, based on 1860 census.
So 20% as low as 20% in Arkansas to as high as 49%. And it was never the majority.
No. But the majority didn't own big chunks of land either.
Yeah, they're just saying in the household as well. Like you had slaves that were just, people that literally owned like one person, right? Which is still crazy.
Yeah.
But it was never the majority. I'm just saying it was never the majority. Like, sure.
The wealth concentration, the majority of slaves were held by a small number of wealthy plantation owners, but most slave owners owned fewer than 20.
Which is crazy to own 20 people. Oh my God.
Unfathomable today.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I guess what I'm just saying is like,
it's 20 to own.
I think that, and like I said, I wasn't alive in 1860 or 1850, 1817, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I have done a lot of reading from the Library of Congress on this. And there were so many people that were so abhorrent to the institution of slavery in the South, in the North. I'm talking about everywhere.
The majority of the states did not want it.
Well, not only that, but the majority of people, even in this, like, I'm just saying, I know there's a lot of racist people. I know there's a lot of people that sure were with it. I mean, and 30% is a huge number.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay, that's a huge number.
49% in Mississippi.
It's a huge number. But as a whole of America, it was under 5%.
Yeah.
But that's a huge number. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a huge number. That's a huge number of households. But that being said, right, that still means 70% of people weren't owning people.
Yeah.
In the South, okay? Which is overwhelmingly the majority.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
7 out of 10 people weren't owning someone else. And let's say 3 or 4 out of those 7 didn't think slavery was acceptable. All I'm saying is for them then to paint John Brown as a crazy person for being against slavery, to me is subliminal. I'm just saying, I think that's subliminal, because then what it does, it makes me grow up as the only white person from that era that I can look to as a hero who wasn't against my being, just my right to exist freely. Okay. It's the only person who wasn't against that in history that I'm being taught. I'm not saying he wasn't the only person against it, right? Yeah. I'm saying the only person that they're talking about in history.
I was just going to say, wait a minute. We already said 70% did.
But the only person that wasn't against that in history that they're teaching me about, now they're telling me that he's crazy.
Yeah.
So then what does that say to these young people, to these people? It's saying that if you were against the institution of slavery, you were crazy.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here. And 100 years from now is going to be 21, 25.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to take maybe 150 years. But I bet in 150 years, there's going to be textbooks written that Elon Musk was completely crazy for some of his thoughts. Someone will interpret him being crazy.
I mean, they call him crazy now. Yeah. But I feel you.
But somewhere in history, then they're going to be, he was wealthy, but he was a lunatic. How many people painted Howard Hughes as crazy? Now, he did kind of lose his marbles late in his life from drug use and shit, but pretty smart engineer. Mm-hmm. I mean, their family drill bit, I think, is still being used for oil and gas exploration today, or the basic patent of it is.
Yeah.
But what he did in aviation.
Sure. I dig it. I definitely dig it. No, I see what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. It's just wild to me that we have to paint
I know.
This man is crazy. For the act, like here's what they're saying he's crazy for, because he would go and fight to the death to free people from bondage.
Well, and
you know what they used?
And back then it wasn't that far. It was, he was just going into the
this is Nebraska, Kansas wars and
northwest,
stuff too.
Well, into the northwest corner of Missouri.
Yeah. And
a little bit into that, so he wasn't going, from Nebraska down there. It's not 50 miles.
I mean, he did things. I mean, his revolution happened in Virginia, in Harper's Ferry, Virginia, right? So, I mean, which really kicked off the Civil War.
His Underground Railroad.
Which really kicked off Civil War. I mean, him and Harriet Tubman were like this. Gosh, I'm gonna forget her name now, but a real prominent black woman who was a millionaire in California. She bankrolled him. I mean, he's who. And I guess, like I said, I've read so much about him now that he's so much of a hero to me, right? But at the same time, what's crazy to me is, what they really point towards part of his craziness, though, right? It's his belief in God. That his belief in the Christian religion made him think that nobody should be a slave.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part, again, subliminally, right? Oh, if you believe in God so much, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, if God can motivate you to do something, then you're crazy, right? And I think that's part of the subliminal mind here is what they're doing, is trying to make you believe that you're crazy. Look, I just want to go over this really quick for anybody that wants to fly that Confederate flag still, or thinks that it's just heritage, or think that it's just cool, because I feel like it's an important site to make, and I'm going to make this little clip out of this too. But I really think it's important too, because the cornerstone speech by Alexander Stephens, who's the vice president of the Confederacy, under this literally this Confederate battle flag that people still fly, and they say it's not hate, it's heritage, right? But just like the flag of the United States, they say means so much and means something. Let me tell you what this Confederate flag meant for sure to the Vice President of the Confederacy in the Cornerstone speech. I'll just read just a little bit of this here, okay? But it's called the Cornerstone speech. It's so called because Stevens used the word cornerstone to describe the great truth of white supremacy and the black subordination upon which secession and the Confederacy were based. Okay, and here's why. He says verbatim, our new government foundations are laid. Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination, and the superior race is the natural and normal condition. This, our new government, is the first in history of the world based upon that great physical, philosophical, and moral truth. So anyone that says like, nah, like the Confederacy or the Confederate States is just about their state rights and just be how they want to be separate, or that battle flag that so many people still fly and so many people find pride in, they say, no, it's not racism. It's just heritage. It's just our history that we're proud of, right? Okay, this is your vice president of that Confederacy saying why the Confederacy was made, why they seceded from the United States government or the United States of America, and what they stand for. And again, I just want to say is that the Negro is not equal to the white man, and that slavery, subordination to the superior race is the natural normal condition, right? And that's what this government is based on. Like, I'd just like to go over that because I don't think that people understand the history and the real meaning of that and what that was made off of.
No, and I think some of those people that look at it from their heritage is they're probably looking at it as they had relatives, family members that died for that flag.
That died for that cause. But that's what I'm saying. You had relatives and
I'm not saying they're on the right side
of history. No, I get it.
But
I
think that's where they're coming from.
I get it. And see, like, to me, if my peoples died for that cause, like, that's not something I'm trying to idolize. Look, they died for the wrong cause, right? And now, look, I know there's a lot of things against America, United States of America, and all this and all that. But even my problem with Thomas Jefferson and all these things, right? But that philosophical truth that he says that all men are created equal in the preamble to the Constitution, right? Meaning, I feel like the country can go somewhere with that preamble, right? That, do ordain, like, saying these truths are self-evident, that all men are created equal. Now, I understand at that point what men he was talking about and all this and all that and all that. That can be debated, right? But dang, that's a much easier starting and launching point to be at and to wrap yourself up in.
Well, and today we would say all people.
Yeah. I dig it. 100%. 100%. But I'm just saying, like, we can't. Woo.
Okay.
Let's get into sports. Is that what you're getting to?
We're getting out of time because I got to roll.
All right.
I'm going to go to my two big picks of the week. You may not agree with the first one.
Okay. Let me pull it up. What you got, Pops? What you got?
I got BYU.
Colorado
by 6.5 over Colorado.
I mean, it's hard to not to agree. They covered last week. They covered against Wyoming, and we bet against them. Don't tell Coach Prime I bet against him. But you know what, Pops? If I have to bet against Coach Prime
to win,
for him to win, I'll lose that $20. Okay, I'm cool with that. Cool with that.
My other big game is
wait. It's only 6 points, huh?
6.5.
Where's it at?
Colorado.
Okay.
That's why.
I get it.
But I just think BYU can get on a roll and can snowball Colorado because they're pretty frail still.
Okay. Was the app not working?
I just pulled to my sheet because it was faster to find these couple of games.
Oh, my app wasn't working. All right.
So my other pick of the week that I really like is I like Indiana over Iowa at 7.5.
Me too. See, Indiana put the stomping on Illinois, like we said. What, they score 8 touchdowns? 9? What the
Yeah.
We had Illinois on the money line. So, Indiana. I guess we got to Google that coach again. That's what happened. We forgot to Google that coach.
Well, Those are my two biggest picks. I also really like Baylor over Oklahoma State just because I think that program's reeling.
Ooh, they are. Hey, when it
21
rains,
and a
it
half.
pours, Pops. When it rains, it pours. 21 and a half, though?
Yep.
For Baylor? 21 and a half?
In Stillwater.
Goodness. That seems like a trap game. That's okay.
It is.
Who do you like with the Penn State versus Oregon?
Oregon.
In Penn State?
Yep.
It's a whiteout.
Yep.
What's the spread?
I did not pick that game. 3.5 Penn State.
Ooh, Penn State's getting giving up
up
3.5. Oregon has a very high-tailed offense. They're going to come in there ready to go. You know they're coming in ready to go real fast. I think the first quarter is going to tell what happens in that game.
And
if Oregon hops up,
I think the third quarter will tell the game.
The
first half, I see big punches thrown. Whoever gets the ball coming out in the first quarter and scores first, or in the third quarter,
and scores first,
that's going to be the biggie.
Okay, then we got Georgia, Alabama. I like Georgia, but what's the points? That's the big one. What's the points on that bad boy? I should have had something pulled up.
3.5 Georgia.
Oh yeah.
And I took Georgia.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I also took Boise State at 16.5 over Appalachian State.
I like that too. App State's kind of tough though. Historically, App State's been tough. Is it at Boise too?
It's Boise.
That's what I'm saying. App State likes to come into places and cause havoc. They like to wreak havoc. Remember when they beat Michigan?
Something about the blue field.
It's tough. But who came in the first week and beat up Boise in the blue? South Florida. South Florida's legit. Okay.
We thought that was a big upset. It really wasn't.
No. South Florida's just legit.
Real.
Yes, they're legit. Okay. Ole Miss, LSU.
I was thinking that's a later game, but maybe not.
Ole Miss, LSU.
Ole Miss 1.5.
Ooh.
At Ole Miss.
Oh, I like LSU. LSU's playing tough. I think what's the name has a lot to prove too. What's their coach name? Brian Kelly. Yeah, Brian Kelly has a lot to prove.
I like A&M over Auburn at home.
Me too. A&M
6.5.
A&M is tough. A&M is tough. Here's Washington, Ohio State. Washington's been doing their job. They have been covering every time. Is Ohio State the real deal?
They're only favored by 8.5.
Now, here's my thing about Ohio State, okay? The more and more I see Texas, the less and less I'm impressed by Ohio State. I know it's the first game and all that, right? You know, when Ohio State and Texas played, but the more and more I see Texas, the less and less I was a buyer on Ohio State. So 8.5, it's where though?
Washington.
Late game too?
No, 2:30 kick.
Oh, that makes a difference. If it was a late game, I kind of like Washington more,
Yeah.
but I think that's a stay away and watch.
Oh, it's going to be a great game to watch.
Yeah, it's a stay away and watch. I don't want to bet that, but it's stay away and watch. Illinois, USC. Illinois has a lot to prove now they got beat down by Indiana.
They have a lot to prove, and they're a pretty significant dog.
USC was really playing pretty good.
It's a late game.
But they didn't cover the Michigan State game.
No. Michigan State stepped up for the first time of the year.
They had it going.
Oh, it's an 11 o'clock game in Illinois.
Ooh.
USC's favored by 6.5.
Oh.
So that's like playing at 9 o'clock in the morning for.
You know, I don't mind USC on that one because, again, Illinois beat up. They got beat up by Indiana. I'm talking about beat up. USC's been playing pretty solid. They've been covering everything. Well, they didn't cover the Michigan State, but they've been covering everything else.
They have been. It's just going to be. This is going to be a great gut check for Illinois.
Yeah, like, can they bounce back? Arkansas, Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame. Notre Dame. I don't know what the points are. But I like Notre Dame.
That was an early game too. It is only 4.5
at
Arkansas.
Oh yeah. I like Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame to go in there and take it. Hey, because they have to take care of business. They have to keep taking care of business.
They do, and
they know that.
And he's not going to get out coached them. They got outplayed, but they have not been out. He's a solid coach.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think that the running backs, Love is heating up too.
Yep.
Okay, so Mississippi State, Tennessee. Tennessee's been solid. They just been whooping everybody they come across.
Yeah,
Mississippi State's good. I know they haven't played a test yet.
No,
This is the first. This is the first.
I don't know how big
game.
a test it is, but
Mississippi State's not bad,
they're not bad.
and I don't see the spread yet.
Oh, that's South Alabama. Sorry. The other big game.
You know what I like here? I like Florida State to jump all over Virginia. In Virginia, it's a 7 p.m. game. It's -7. I like Florida State.
I do too.
Yeah, Iowa State, Arizona.
I don't like it.
That's a pick 'em. That's a stay away unless you just want to gamble. I know it's all a gamble, but you know what I mean, though.
Is Miami off this week?
I think so. They deserve to be. They deserve to be after what they did for us last time. Oh, so the Tennessee is 7.5 at Mississippi State. They're 7.5 at Mississippi State. Then we got, see here, the Iowa State was -6.5. They got Arizona at home. If you want your big game, you got Missouri supposed to get UMass by 44.5 for your big spreads. People who like those big spreads. There you go. South Carolina, Kentucky. This is going to be interesting. 6.5. South Carolina's at home. They're giving up 6.5 points. So yeah, I don't see. Look, I like Colorado so much, but it's hard for me to see BYU not coming in there and running all over them. It really is.
I know.
I mean, but their quarterback, he did what he was supposed to last time. I think he had 4 total TDs and did his thing and all that, but it's against Wyoming. So, you know, what can you say against Wyoming, right? It's tough. It's tough. Like, that's not, the first time we seen them against a team, I feel like, well, I take that back. Georgia Tech's a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. But, yeah, if I have to bet against them just for good luck, okay, I think I'll do that. Last game that I wanted to see.
He's missing his Jackson State boys.
He is, man. He is. I mean, those were good players. Oh, this is interesting. Duke and Syracuse.
I'm staying away from that.
Right. Because Syracuse is coming off a big win. Duke's favored by 5.5 at Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm staying away
Is
from
Clemson that bad? I think so.
Big trap game.
I think Clemson is just that bad. I really, really do. Clemson's off this week. They need it. They need it bad. I mean, I don't see him on her. Yeah, they need it bad. What do you think's going to happen with Dabo? I mean, if he loses again, I mean, what, is he going to lose his job?
I don't think so.
They got to keep him, right? I mean, you got to let him lose a couple seasons.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, he can't. He's struggling, I think, to adapt to the new way in college football. Some people are thriving at it. Some people are not, and it'll just be interesting. Hey, just kind of a wrap up, folks. I'm sorry we're cutting it a little bit short because I got to get going home.
Look, that ain't short. Possibly like 2 hours.
I know, but we could go for another hour. But hey, just a reminder: if you got somebody struggling in your life, or you see somebody struggling, try to get them some help. Try to let them know that you care about them.
Yes.
We have way too many times in our society people take their own lives. So stay cool. Peace out. Love you all.
That's all I got. Same
all
thing.
Right.
Same
Love
thing.
you guys.
Peace. Dun, 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 dun.
No agenda, no bull crap, just real conversations. Thank you for joining us for the Middle of the Street podcast.